Hello, everybody. My name is Kelly Miller, and I am a sales engineer working within NETSCOUT's test optimization team. And today we're going to take a look at TestStream Lab Manager. TestStream Lab Manager is a management tool that's used for controlling layer 1 switches and managing your lab. Here we have a list of switches being controlled by this TestStream instance. And as I expand these switches, I get my chassis, the blades, the ports, and then the subports. Each interface has an input and an output that we can map individually. Now, making mappings are done on topologies. Topologies is a canvas with drop and drag object-oriented connectivity. So let's go ahead and create a new topology. And we'll create a mapping. I simply click and drag ports onto the canvas, and then right-click and drag and draw a line between them. It's very simple. Here you see I have a double-ended arrow with a dotted blue line. This is going to be a full duplex connection, but it hasn't been connected yet. It's just pre-provisioned. And making the activation is as simple as right-click and saying active, or I can simply hit the power button to create it. Let's create another connection using subports. And subports give us the ability to do replication. So I'm going to create another duplex connection by simply dragging on existing ports. Let's try a different set of ports onto the canvas and creating two individual mappings, one eastbound and one westbound. So I map an into and out, and an into and out, and I hit activate. And here I have two circuits, both duplex, one created with a full duplex and one created with two simplex. Now to add replication to this, I simply go and drag another output leg onto the canvas and map the ingress to the egress. Some might say this is tapping, which it is a form of tapping, but it's also replication. I now have a multiple egress points from the same ingress. That would be a tap, and this is replication. So now we take a look at the building a topology from the layer 1's point of view, which we call standard topologies. Lab Manager also has a full-blown reservation and scheduler. In that case, we use what we call device topologies. And this is more representative of what your objects are in the lab. We create and define these devices called devices, and we map layer 1 ports to these devices, which are going to actually be the cabling that goes to your devices under test. And then instead of dragging layer 1 ports onto the canvas, now we're going to drag device ports onto the canvas. And device ports are going to be grouped logically based on the devices that you have. Maybe it's slot, maybe it's a whole system, or maybe it's just one port. Or in this case, it may not be anything connected to layer 1. It could just be an object in the lab that you want to have as part of the reservation. So if I take a look at a device topology, now as you can see, I have abstract devices on here. And if I double click, I can see the resources that are being used within this topology for each device. And then activating it, again, hitting the power button. The system goes out and builds all of the layer 1 connections to create this topology. And now from this view, I see the number of connections between each device, as well as their usage. I can zoom out to give you a full view, and I can even unpin this from the main application so that you can see things with multiple monitors or from multiple panes. I can park it back in the application by just simply closing it. We also have a front panel view, so this could be helpful for people that are working remote to actually see the device that they're connecting to and that they're using in the lab. By using this, there are hotspots within the graphic for our diagnostics and troubleshooting, both at the port, the blade, and the system level. Again, giving you good feedback as to the health of the environment or troubleshooting the environment, whatever the case may be. This is called the application area. This is where we're going to get our switch graphic. This is where we're going to see the topologies, and this is where all the workload is going to take place. Down at the bottom, we have system events and port events, and these events can be exported via SNMP to a trout collector. And a full-blown audit trail is going to give you all the user activity and interactions and changes that have taken place within the system throughout the time. This audit trail can be exported to a syslog server for archive purposes. TestStream Lab Manager gives you the ability to schedule these topologies. If I click on the scheduler here, I can add a reservation. I pick my window of time, either by the sliding scale here or by the start and end dates of the topology, when I want it to start, when I want it to end, and whether I wanted to activate the connections at the start. And here I can even program a remote execution profile to go out and launch your existing scripts that you may have to do provisioning or sanitizing or even controlling test tools throughout the reservation. And we give you 4 areas to do 4 different scripts, 2 at the beginning and 2 at the end. If you don't need to run scripts, you simply uncheck the box and you don't need to run any scripts during the reservation. So let's go ahead and create this one. And now let's add another one. So now I see when these ports are reserved and when they're going to be used, and I need to allocate time beyond these needed times. So here I simply drag my window to a free area, and I can create another reservation for the same topology. And these reservations, again, you can stack n number of reservations into the future for capacity planning and scheduling. You're also going to be able to see through analytics reports on utilization and metrics on user activity and when you're going to need to buy new equipment and where your bottlenecks may be. And of course, this platform integrates well into any existing environment through our robust configuration of remote access control for both enabling and disabling CLI and web access, and integrating with your existing AAA services such as TACAX, Active Directory, or Radius. At this time, this concludes our demo. I'd like to thank you for your time today. Have a good day, folks.